You're listening.
Wait, it's not going live. No.
There
Oh,
we
what
go.
the hell happened?
Go
I
ahead and
didn't
hit
do
it.
that. I did. Oh my God, what do I do?
I got it.
Wait, it's live. It's live. It's live. Okay. What?
You're listening to Chasing Prophecy Radio, where we discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. On UPRN Talk Radio FM 107.7 in New Orleans and FM 105.3 in Mississippi.
If it's unexplainable, we're talking about it.
Whether you're a believer or a skeptic,
We cover everything where the unknown becomes the known.
and now, here are your hosts, Jenny Nicasio and Tom Callway.
Hello, welcome back everyone to Chasing Prophecy. There's Jenny.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening. So we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans, as well as streaming across multiple social media channels. And hello to everybody on Roku TV. Do we have something special for you? We have a little video we're going to play.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
There we go.
Can't hear it. It's not. Oh my God, Tom. Let go. I can't hear it. There's no volume.
I hear it.
I don't think they can hear it. It's too low. It's too. I wish we could bring the volume up. You did it again. We're on the wrong TikTok again. You're on Chasing Prophecy. You were supposed to be on mine.
No, I'm on mine and you are on yours.
It's okay. All right. I don't know what happened, but anyways, it's never going to go right for us, I swear.
No. It's there's you. You are live.
Well, how come it's not showing it?
Did you refresh the page?
Probably not. I can't. Go ahead.
So, thank you everybody listening to 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM in New Orleans, as well as the UPRN Facebook and YouTube page, and on Roku TV. We have a wonderful guest with us today. We have a wonderful topic we're going to talk about, and of course, it's the Kecksburg Festival going on in Pittsburgh, right outside there. So we'll talk a little bit about the crash a little later. So Jenny right now is refreshing the TikTok on hers, and we'll get back to her shortly. But we have to talk about what happened over this past weekend. And, no matter what political alliance you have, no matter anything, you cannot have individuals taking history on their own and trying to end somebody's life in one way or another. It doesn't have to be political, doesn't have to be anything at all. You just cannot have that happen. So in a support of solidarity, that's why I'm wearing my red today. Jenny has on her memorabilia as well going on. And so we can't wait to discuss all of this going on. It's a wonderful time, a wonderful place. And we really, need to stop the bicker and anything and get back to talking about crazy things like UFOs and aliens and things like that. Jenny, great job. I see it's working perfectly now.
Okay. I'll get it
Yeah.
sooner or later. Sorry,
We
I'm not
got
a
it.
good
We got it.
multitasker.
So we work with progress, not perfection here. We're never a first time anything, but that's
No, we're
wonderful that
not.
it's now working. I see it working perfectly.
You know what
So
the problem was, Tom? There was 2 Chasing Prophecies on YouTube up,
that's what it
and
was. It was covering
they
the
were
wrong one.
echoing at each other. Yeah, they were competing
Okay.
for each other. Well, we
We're
got
working
it.
this down pretty smooth. It was only a couple minutes that it was actually,
Well,
the
we'll get it
debacle there.
straight. We'll get it straight.
Yeah,
I'll get it straight.
absolutely. But Jenny, I was just telling the audience why I was wearing my red. And why I was wearing my red today was the support for a man that nearly lost his life. And, through the grace of God, through quick thinking, a shot actually got fired off at an individual.
Yeah.
And more importantly, let's not forget the person in the crowd who
Yes,
passed away, and
Corey.
the other two who are seriously injured. Our
Yeah.
thoughts and prayers go out to their family as well. We can talk about the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, but we have to remember there also was somebody who did pass
Yeah,
away.
most definitely. Family that
You know,
their life will never be the same.
They won't. They won't. And sadly enough, their trauma was shared with millions because there's videos out there of him getting hit and falling to the bleacher and things like that. So, as much as we like to joke around and we like to talk and we talk about all kinds of cool stuff here, fun stuff on Chasing Prophecy, um, we do have to take a moment and reflect and let everybody know it's not okay to be doing things like this out in public.
It's not
Um,
okay. It's never okay. No matter
you're right.
what, uh, you know, whatever.
Oh,
No matter
Nikki,
what.
thank you. Yeah, red nails. Great. Support, solidarity, all that kind of good stuff. Um, so we have to get that out of the way. And feel free, Jenny and I are very active on TikTok now. And that's not a pun. We really are. We had an impromptu TikTok
Oh
Saturday,
yeah, it was
right?
good.
And it was really good. We played some music. We talked to some people. We got a lot of people listening to us, and you get to
Mhm.
know us a little bit outside of this box of Chasing Prophecy. So, I would be remiss not to say I'm at Tom Conway. You see my name on the screen. She's at Chasing Jenny. You're at Chasing Prophecy.
I'm at Gemma Love.
Oh, at Gemma Love. And feel free to follow us on there. We'll do impromptu lives. If we have something planned, we'll try to announce it on the show.
Mhm.
But feel free, we can talk about a lot more things than what we do here. And we're not banned, so that's a promising thing, Jenny.
Yeah, you know what though? Unfortunately, I am still not live, but that's okay. I'm on Chasing Prophecy.
You're
I
not
can
live?
see it. No, I'm live. We're Chasing Prophecies live, not mine. So we
You
have to
you are.
figure.
Yeah, you are.
Is it say Gemma Love?
Gemma Love. Remember, you have to be on a different account to see your live.
Okay, we'll do that again. We'll see. Let me see.
But
if
no,
you're
just know it's working now, and I have it in front of me in
right.
case
Okay, well,
anybody.
I'm gonna go on a different account because I have like multiple accounts. I have multiple aliases.
She's a catfish. She has boyfriends from all over the country,
Okay,
Canada, Mexico,
okay.
Bolivia,
You're
even.
smart. You're smart.
So, but how about we get into more of the fun stuff when we start talking about our guest, huh? How
Yeah,
about I
let's
read
talk
you a little
about
bit of
some
that?
angels. Let's talk some angels.
Let's talk about some angels. That's a good segue. All right. The driving force behind Dr. Scott Guerin's life has been his passion for unraveling the mysteries of God, the universe, and Source, an intricate tapestry of their relationship with humanity. A distinguished author, educator, and retired healthcare professional, Scott is committed to the exploration of spiritual development. With 2 master's degrees and a doctorate in human development with a focus on spiritual development, Scott's journey has been a remarkable one that delves into the profound realms of the human spirit. His popular Angel in Training series describes how society has begun to shift from organized religion to spirituality. Through it, Scott shares his experience over a decade of pursuing a spiritual life, resulting in 3 books, A Spiritual Journey, and 12 Lessons that document his journey to spiritual freedom. His conclusions are that we are all angels in training, eternal, connected, and capable beyond belief. His new book, Looking for Angels, A Guide to Understanding and Connecting Angels, was written by Dr. Guerin and renowned intuitive Nicole Bigley. This book shares the history of angels throughout religion, science, and psychology. In addition, Detailed instructions are provided to help you connect with your spirit team. Without further ado, let's bring in Scott Guerin. Scott Guerin, correct? Am I saying that correctly?
That is correct, and thank you. I got to send out a shorter bio. It's too long.
Oh, it's okay.
But anyway.
I mean, I passed the SAT, so I can go ahead at fairly normal speed.
Yes, thank you.
Barely.
Yeah, barely
Better
is
than
right.
me. Better than me.
Oh, well,
Right.
Jenny, you don't have to be when you're a catfish. So
Okay. Oh, you're gonna get it. I swear to God, I'm gonna kick your ass.
I know she is. She's going to wind up and clock me one. But Scott, again, thank you for being on. Nick, Jenny, and myself are both authors. We know what it's like, and I really admire your drive because again, we know what it's like to put a book out there. So, I guess my first question to you is, how did you come about to write this book?
Yeah, and if you wouldn't mind, I mean, just kind of off of what you're talking about the weekend and your current
sure.
events,
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
for a moment, not to kind of bypass it, but it's times like these. It shakes everyone's faith, whatever their faith is. It shakes them
You're
to
right.
the core. Saying, what the
Mhm.
heck is going on? The God that I believe in is supposed to be like in charge, but these things happen, and it just
I know.
it presses you. And so I came across a book lately. It's called Deep Hope, and it's based on Eastern philosophy, but briefly, it's about that we need to make sure that our hope is not tied to specific outcomes, meaning
Mhm.
that God, the universe, does not rectify and reconcile everything in this day, this week, this month, and that to keep our faith, to keep hope alive in ourselves, and know that it's more of a journey of hope than a outcome that's happening, right now, or
You're
this
right.
year, whatever it may be. So, and it kind of ties into the reason why I came to writing this book. But I just wanted to get that out there to say that keep hope alive. There is something larger than ourselves. There is an outcome that everyone
Right.
will like. In not only in the near future, but in the distant future with humanity. May not look like it now worldwide,
Mhm.
but there is a plan in place, I believe, to tie us all together.
You're exactly right. We do want that instant gratification, don't we? But we do
Yeah.
have to take a step back and see what's the larger thing at play here, because we're a reactionary species.
Yes.
So yeah, just wanted to throw that in on top. But yeah. So
Yeah.
how did you come to write the book?
Yeah. So, briefly, I've been chasing after a connection with God, spirit, the all that is, whatever you want to call it, since I was 13. And I was raised in a Lutheran church, and
Mhm.
and we were going through confirmation classes, and the confirmation classes were in seventh and eighth grade. And my brothers and sisters told me, all right, the first year is fine. You just go to classes. The second year, you have to you have to take sermon notes and turn them in. And so I was so into it that I started doing it a year early. I started because I didn't care about the, liturgy and all this stuff, but I was zeroed in on the minister and his messages every week, like air, like I was drawing. So I took notes the first year, filed them. Second year, we had to turn them in. So I took notes again, and I noticed like the third week in, like, wait a minute, yeah, this sounds familiar. So I looked back at my notes, and it was the exact same sermon from like about a year earlier. And then I let it go, figured, well, who knows? I let it go, and another one came up. So I'm like, oh, there must be some reason. Maybe God told him that we had to learn this again. We didn't get it,
Mhm.
And so I got the nerve to, catch up with him after a sermon one week. And I said, Pastor, I noticed you're repeating sermons, and I just wanted to know why. Like, what is the reason you're doing this? And he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, Scott, this is a tough job. And right then, like my world kind of cracked. Like here, my lifeline to God was treating this as a job, and as nice as he was, like it wasn't what I was looking for. So that kind of spurred me on to seek out a connection with God through all the different, a few different, Protestant religions. Ended up at the Presbyterian Church as an elder and taught Sunday school. Even though I was doing that and wholeheartedly doing whatever I could to get that connection and maintain it, my personal life fell apart, divorce, financial ruin. And then I'm like, hey, I'm a freaking elder. Like this shouldn't happen to people like me. And so I got out of that, a very dark time for me. I got out and then threw myself, as much passion as I did in religion, I threw myself into psychology and just started studying the mind and how that relates to spirit. How do people perceive reality? What, where does the mind reside? Like all these types of things. Got into crazy stuff like, distance healing and even some UFOs, that type of thing. How do people visualize and, what's the difference between hallucinations and delusions and all these things. And for a number of years, I was deeply into meditation. That's kind of where it took me to make my connection that I was after into meditation, a variety of different techniques. And then I was looking for something more specific. And through all my religious training and experience, I knew about angels. I mean, they're certainly in the Bible. They're certainly the Old Testament, New Testament. And I knew somewhat of other religions had that, contained them. And so I wanted to go after that. So I started looking for, in writing, looking for angels in the book. And then I happened.
Can I interrupt real quick? Sure. What are the dimensions of angels, and why do you think it's important for people to connect with your angels?
Well, so there's a variety of angels. First of all, it's important to kind of know the schematic layout of it, the Old Testament, New Testament, Islamic texts all agree that God, the universe, when at one point created the physical world, physical universe, and at some point he created angels, the angel realm. So the angel realm, and there's disagreement whether it was before or after, blah, 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 but they all agree that angels are a separate species in a sense, certainly different from us, from humans. And so you have an angelic realm, then you have humans, and then as well, now this is going a little bit, I'm pressing the boundary on this to me, saying that there are other beings that instead of living in Africa, maybe in South America, they may be living in another galaxy, on another planet. But we are both, in a sense, created and a part of the divine, of God. Angels being separate. So angels were never incarnate. They don't know what it's like to live the physical world as we do. But certainly within the angelic realm, there are levels that, in general, people have agreed with over time. The guardian angel idea, that there's a guardian angel associated with us. And then there are relative other levels of angels. And in the New Testament, you can get into principalities and powers and seraphim and cherubim, and all have different roles. And then you have the archangels, which are the highest, most powerful angels. In the biblical text, Archangel Michael is the only named archangel, but there are other. They describe them as archangels, but they don't really say. But like Archangel Gabriel, and then in the apocryphal text, which are sacred texts that didn't make it into the accepted Bibles, whatever religion you're in, but they're deemed like okay, to reference. They have a list of archangels that are, maybe 10, 15 or so. So you have those as angels, and then you have a category called ascended masters, which are not really angels, but they started out as people, but just ascended, like Mother Mary, like Mother Teresa, like other people like that. So those are the realms. an organization of angels, us, and possibly extraterrestrials.
Oh,
I
cool.
appreciate that explanation. You know, you did a good one where you fit them in the appropriate categories. So, I guess in a selfish way, what's in it for us? Why should people pursue connecting their angels?
Well, so one thing, and it's my experience as personally, but then others along the way, I've kind of got the same reaction from. They grow up in their religions, like me, Protestant,
Mhm.
Christian, and angels were there. You pray to them. Archangel Gabriel told Mary, "Your Savior, Savior's coming." But there was never really an interaction, never really laid out like how to interact with angels and a spirit team, more than one angel. And so what my journey has taken me, and many others, I mean, it's a whole world out there that go kind of what religion has kind of put angels in to open them up, to be more interactive with ourselves, our lives. So that means that our angels and spirit team, which is any collection of angels, archangels, whatever it may be, it
Mhm.
could be a past loved one that has come and is like hanging around supporting you. That could be part of your angel team. But it's getting through the day to day, the real hard stuff and hard questions and questions that you need definitive answers on. That's what's available to us, and so that's the importance of making that connection and making that, it's not just going to church, not just going to rituals, but it's everyday type of thing, and it's real, so um, it's in a short way that short answer to your question. Yes, it's much more robust, involved relationship with the spirit world.
One last question for you. I want to ask you before I let you go. How do you feel about the connection between UFOs, aliens, and angels? Just a lot of people, like Tucker Carlson, believe that some of the UFOs are actually demons, like fallen angels. What is your view on that, real quick?
Well, there's certainly, as there is light, there is darkness, and there is a dark side of things, of the world. But and like as I mentioned, I think that extraterrestrials could very well be just like us. We're our brothers and sisters from another
Mhm.
that just happen to live in a distant planet. So as with everything, we need to have a discerning mind and discerning eye. Whether it's a religion, a preacher, a guru, an angel, a demon, a UFO, well now UAP.
UAP.
UAP,
Um,
yeah.
there are some that can be good and some that can be bad. So we have to have discerning eye and mind, and not immediately. To me, people like think ETs, and that's why I'm talking more openly about it, because I'm like, all right, let's call it. They're out there. And just because they're not in our accepted world of reality, they must be bad, and I say no to that. But I do say we have to have a discerning eye and mind to every phenomena that we see.
Well,
Absolutely. I totally agree, Scott. Great. The
yes,
book sounds
Scott.
wonderful. Yeah,
And thanks for coming on tonight. I appreciate it. Best of
absolutely.
luck to you.
Yes, absolutely. Can you let everyone know where they can find your book? And we'd love to have you back on later in the future to
Sure.
discuss more.
Sure. You get the book on Amazon in all four formats: paperback, hardcover, ebook, and audiobook. You can go to the book's website called lookingforangelsbook.com, and you can get a hold of me at angelintraining.org.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Scott. Everyone, go buy the book. I'll be interested. I'm going to purchase it. You'll see one from Eastern Pennsylvania on your little map. So
Thank
I
you. Thank
appreciate
you.
everything. Thank you so much for your time. Look forward to talking to you again.
All right. Take care. Thanks.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay,
So,
that was a good interview. I have Stan on the line, so we're just going to do a quick intro for him. Okay, researcher Stan Gordon. He's a researcher, cryptic. I guess that would be researcher too. In the year 2024, he's been busy with numerous reports from public reporting various unusual incidents. Residents from around the Chestnut and Laurel Ridge area have been reporting not only UFO sightings, but cryptic encounters as well. He's so busy, and he's getting ready for the big festival in Kecksburg because it is the anniversary. Let's play a little clip real fast. So if you don't know anything about Kecksburg, here we go. I hope I did this right, Tom.
I'm sure you will.
Probably not.
1965, in the quiet town of Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. Residents reported seeing a fireball streak across the sky before a mysterious object crashed in a nearby forest. Eyewitnesses described a metallic acorn-shaped craft adorned with strange, hieroglyphic-like symbols. The military swiftly descended on the crash site, cordoning off the area and removing the object under heavy guard. While the official explanation pointed to a meteor, many locals remain convinced it was something much more enigmatic. Was it a secret military experiment, or did it come from beyond our world? The Kecksburg UFO incident continues to baffle and intrigue, shrouded in secrecy and speculation.
Okay, so we have Stan
Very
Gordon. Welcome to
interesting. I
Chasing
like that one.
Prophecy. Oh, it's exciting to have you back. How many times have you been on the show?
I can't remember. It's been quite a number of years.
Yeah, it has been. So you're getting busy. It's the anniversary. Is it this weekend?
Well, it's the anniversary of the Kecksburg UFO Festival.
Okay.
The actual incident was December 9th of 1965. And the fire department, of course, can't hold outside in the wintertime, so they do it now in the summer.
Well, that's good. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So anything new? Can you hear what's wrong, Boots? Can't you hear? Can you
It's just coming a little distorted over it.
Oh gosh, no, really? Okay, let's try it. Can you hear him any better? Oh, now I lost the phone. Thank you, Boots. Wow. Always have to have somebody put your 2 cents.
Right.
Okay. Can you hear any better? Go ahead, Stan.
Well, yeah, it's doing this for a long time, going on 65 years of research. My hotline's been open since 1969, and I'm telling you, it never stops ringing with calls all around every year. There's a lot of email reports now, and this year has just been very, very steady. It's very interesting. Over the years, talking to literally thousands of people about strange, unusual occurrences here in Pennsylvania, and a lot here in Southwest Pennsylvania and the greater Pittsburgh area every year, including recent weeks. And of course, while there's a lot of things we can explain and a lot of things of misidentification, especially with UFO reports, there's a lot of cases going on year after year that we cannot easily explain away. And what's really intriguing is that the last 2 years for sure, we're seeing it, and this year, a part of that, we're seeing more and more reports of UFO sightings in daylight at low level. We're having more and more Bigfoot activity, encrypted activity in daylight at close range. And if you go to my website, stangordon.info, you'll see some photographs of some of these objects. The government calls them now, of course, UAP, unidentified anomalous phenomena. But a lot of the reports are very similar we've had around the Pittsburgh area, well, actually for years, but more and more in recent years, these large, solid, cylindrical, wingless objects that in many reports just hovering in beautiful afternoons at low level and just fading away and gone, not accelerating, leaving, just fading away and gone. And some other cases moving very slow across the sky. But we've also getting more reports in the last couple of years, an increased reports again of solid black triangular objects as well as low level. And then what's really intriguing has been the increase in reports of what I call mini UFOs for years. I knew about them back in the 1960s, but these reports are really amazing because they're not high in the sky. They're very low to the ground. They're generally spherical, but not always. And these are small spherical objects. Some appear to be solid, but most are more just light sources of different colors. And they range in size from a lot of them around the size of a golf ball to a baseball to about 1 or 2 in diameter. But what is so intriguing about these reports is that the increase in reports in recent years of these things being seen in daylight at very low level to the ground and coming within a few feet of people. And these cases are going on more and more. We had an incident just happened, I believe this one was in May, Armstrong County, where there's a lot of history around there as well. Beautiful afternoon, and this woman and her big dog are out in her farm, and everything is normal. And then all of a sudden, the dog sits up and starts looking towards the tree line, and the witness sees something bright on the ground. She thought at first, well, maybe it's a soda can, a pop can blew over, and the sun's reflecting off it. So she starts walking in that direction, and as she does, it rises about 4 feet off the ground and just stays there. And as she gets closer, she sees it's a perfectly round bubble spherical object, several inches in diameter. I believe she said there was some kind of a little mass moving around the side of it. As she walked within 5 feet of it, it began to fade away and vanish and gone. And some of these reports, I know we don't have a lot of time today. Some of these cases are just amazing. Some of them are very, very unusual. I can tell you within the last 2 weeks, there have been some significant UFO cases that are still being investigated. One case that sounds very, very interesting. One of my research associates is directly involved in it. I'm waiting for more data from him. But this occurred in Fayette County during the early morning hours. So it was a very nice morning daylight. 2 cars, one behind the other on a major highway. Both cars suddenly just stopped. And the people in each car didn't know each other. One turned out to be from out of state. The other was a local person. And my researcher was able to track them both down and interview them. In fact, he got to the scene while they were still there because their cars wouldn't start. And found out that this object came from behind their vehicles, very low overhead. There's a lot of detail. One witness got a really good look at it. There's one photograph taken in the distance. I have not seen it yet, but it's a really fascinating case of, over the years, we've heard many reports of electromagnetic effects where these objects, for years, going back even the 1940s and 50s, you heard some of these reports of these objects, very low to vehicles, and when they were close by, the power in the vehicle, the motor would stop, the headlights would dim, the object would move off, and the power would come back on some cases. So that's what's going on as well. And then we've had Bigfoot sightings in the last several years, more reports, and many of these are daylight at very close range. We're talking close, we're talking 40, 60 feet away from people in daylight.
Daylight, wow.
Yeah, and we're getting all kind of other reports. We've had an increase actually this year, very strangely, from not only this part of the state, but eastern PA, of Thunderbird sightings of these huge flying creatures, and many descriptions are very similar. They have been very low to the ground.
Wow.
We're all describing like 15 to 20 foot wingspans, and that's another thing that's showing up. So we are very, very busy with reports.
Did they say what the Thunderbird looks like?
In most cases, they're generally dark brown or black.
Okay.
There's one detail I have not released yet. I haven't really put a lot of data out on this yet because hoping more reports will come in. I can tell you since the early part of the year, we've had a report in the Pittsburgh area. There have been reports here in Westmoreland County, eastern Pennsylvania. There's some others I can't think exactly where right now, but they're very similar. But at least 2 of the reports have described a detail that is not commonly heard about, and it's very similar to what they described. And I thought that was pretty fascinating. But these things are going on, and again, yes, we get many sightings along the Chestnut Ridge area.
Yes.
But we also get reports from many other areas that are not connected to the ridge, all through the greater Pittsburgh area, many other parts of the state. Southwest PA is very, very active. But these things are going on year after year. We're definitely seeing an increase in really detailed reports coming in about UFOs, or the government calls them, of course, UAP now, and as well as cryptid and Bigfoot reports as well. So it should be fascinating as time goes on. I'll be putting more information on the website. But also, I'd like to invite everybody to the Kecksburg Festival. It's July 19th to the 21st. It starts Friday at 6 o'clock when they have half-price food night. And the last couple of years, we had hundreds and hundreds of people there for hours coming in for food and jamming the paranormal researchers and vendors inside the building and outside. Saturday is a massive day when it's not unusual to have lines of really thousands of people for
Wow.
hours coming
Wow.
through,
That's amazing.
coming by our
That's
tables.
amazing.
The parade's at 2 o'clock, and then Sunday we have the conference at 1 p.m. It's going to be a very, very interesting conference this year with the guest speaker this year is Ray Sabansky from Ohio, who is now retired from the Air Force, and he was a senior scientist engineer from the Air Force Research Laboratory at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Oh, that's interesting.
Ooh.
So
And
interesting.
then there's going to be a lot of other things going on with some of the very weird areas. Investigation going up in Fayette County for years. That's an area like Skinwalker Ranch where very weird UFO, Bigfoot, cryptid stuff's been going on even in recent weeks. And these teams up there have some very good instrumentation. A lot of this has been documented now. They'll be doing a presentation on it at the conference. So you've got a lot going on. You can go to my website, stangordon.info, for more information, by the way.
So Stan, we have a little bit of time. We have until what time, Tom?
8:05.
8:05. So
Yes.
to tell me, okay, so at the festival, so you have the conference on Sunday. Is there any speakers at all on Saturday?
No.
No.
We do all conferences held Sunday only from 1 till about 5 p.m.
Did you have how many speakers do you have?
This year it'll be Ray I just told you about. We're going to have a team of researchers who have been up in this area in Fayette County investigating the strange area. So you're going to have several members from the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Society and the Fay West Paranormal, and these are very experienced researchers with some very high-tech equipment. And they're very skeptical. They will tell even their own personal accounts. I can tell you some of these researchers have known me for years. I talked about these small balls of light, which, again, historically, while they're being seen in many areas, historically in Pennsylvania, now all over the country, in locations where we have a history of Bigfoot encounters, you're getting more and more reports from researchers and witnesses who are seeing this strange light phenomena or these balls of light below the ground. And in some cases, in more recent years with some of these folks, these things came out of the woods within a few feet of them. And I can tell you, I think it was quite a life-changing experience for some of these people.
Well, let me tell you, how big are the lights? What colors are they?
Okay, well, again, a lot of, they vary in size. What I found out years ago is that the smallest is about the size of an oversized firefly. But most of them are around the size of a golf ball to a baseball to about a foot or two in diameter. And they're generally bright light sources. Sometimes they're just very luminous colors. Some are more transparent. And some of the reports we've had in the last few years, people were seeing some type of a mass inside of them. They're that close to them within a few feet. And I also wanted to mention, by the way, to get off the subject, also Kevin Paul, who is a paranormal researcher from Greene County. He'll also be speaking at the conference this weekend.
Oh, good.
Fun. So real quick before we go on any further, let me just get this smart labels read right out the way. Summer's officially here. Time to pack away the winter items. And there is a product called Smart Labels. Let me tell you, your future self is going to love you for getting this. Here's how it works. You buy the Smart Labels QR code labels on Amazon and stick them on your storage bins, boxes, totes, anything that closes and you can't see what's in there. Download the Smart Labels app from either the Google Play or iOS App Store. Scan the QR code and catalog all the stuff going in the bin with a name, description, or picture. Then months down the road, when you're looking for the thing you stored somewhere, you can just search the app and it will tell you where you put it. My summer or winter clothes, bin 7. That purse that came back in style, oh look, bin 5. Seriously, people are calling this organizing magic. So if you are doing some spring cleaning, getting ready for a summer move, or just wanting to get organized, you need to check out Smart Labels on Amazon. That's Smart Labels, one word, to get started with your Smart Labels pack today. All right, sorry about that, guys. Go ahead, continue.
So tell me, Stan, so the lights are like golf ball size. They're clear light, they're like not like colored lights. They're just like regular, like a yellow warm light.
No, they could be different colors. They could be orange. They could be green. Blue is very common, a dark blue, white. So there have been variations in the colors. And again, some of these cases are amazing. So let me since we have a few minutes, in 2022, we had the biggest surge of these cases ever in history here in Pennsylvania. And I'm sure we don't get a lot of data around the country. We're aware of these things going on all over the country. but I'm hearing an increase in reports from other researchers around the country that here in PA, we had significant cases in 2022. And just to give you an example, in October 2022, up in Fayette County, one of my research associates, Jim Brown, investigated it. It was around 6 o'clock in the morning. It was a cold morning. The woman of the house woke up to find her husband sleeping on the porch in his robe and slippers, which he would never do. She had trouble waking him up. And when he awakened, he told her that he went outside to get the newspaper just been delivered. And this small, I think it was about a foot and a half diameter white sphere was hovering right at face level. And he got within a few feet of it. And he said he got so tired all of a sudden, right after he was near it, he just fell asleep. So 3 days later, outside of Ligonier, in an area where we're getting lots of reports of strange things for years, and even in recent weeks and months from other people, 2:30 in the morning, this woman's awakened to go to the restroom. So she comes out of the bathroom, and about 5 feet away in her living room is this about a foot and a half, 2 foot diameter dark blue sphere with a dark mass moving around inside of it. She remembered taking one step towards it. She felt like a slight electrical jolt. And then she said, I got so tired I couldn't stay awake. And she said the next day she felt very weak, very sickly. And she told me, she said, I'm an insomniac. I don't fall asleep. So for her to have that same type of physiological effect within 3 days was very, very interesting. But now I've known about these small objects for years and years, and you hardly ever hear about it. And it may well be one of the most important part of the UFO mystery that you're hearing very little about. You're starting to hear more about it on some of the TV shows, and I do a lot of podcast interviews. You're hearing more and more about these on a lot of the radio podcast shows now. But this has been going on for a long time. But I've had incidents over the years in Pennsylvania where these things have paced vehicles. I've had them enter people's windows, homes and cars who open windows and go right through the walls of the house of the vehicle. I've had them tap up people's living room windows in different areas around Pittsburgh. And a lot of this, again, is daylight activity. So a lot of these things, again, are going on. So I told everybody, keep your camera phone handy because you never know. We've been lucky. We've been getting some photographs. We're getting some security camera and game camera photographs of different anomalies as well. So there's a lot going on. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, they can call me confidentially at 724-838-7768. There's other contact information, a lot of reports on my website, which is stangordon.info, stangordon.info.
Great. Thank you for that. One last question, for me anyways. Has there been any updates to Kecksburg? Any research that they've done? What do they have any idea at this point in time of what?
Well, what's unfortunate is it's going on 59 years this year, and many witnesses have passed away. And there's still others around, but a lot of them, of course, are up in age now. More and more people forgetting. There's still quite a lot out there. It's surprising. Even last year at the Kecksburg Festival, I think 5 or 6 independently over a 3-day period came up to me and didn't even think much about it. Said, "Yep, I'll never forget that night. My parents brought me out here when it was over the radio. Something fell, and we saw all the soldiers out here. They were blocking off the roads, and they all tell the same story. Some saw the flatbed truck with the tarp object coming out from the area that night, and that's what we still hear. So we hear these reports. I can tell you, I have gotten some interesting tidbits over the last couple of years. At some point, I think I'll probably be, as I can verify certain details, hopefully, I'll bring some of this information out. I can just tell you, it's a fascinating story. I've always kept an open mind what the object may have been. There have been theories for years and years from the time they had it. What you got to remember is, and this is well documented, about 4:47 p.m., multitudes of witnesses in the greater Pittsburgh area were jamming radio, TV, newspaper offices, police departments, all through the greater Pittsburgh area, reporting seeing this fiery object going across the sky. So what we didn't know at that time, for years and years, it took me a long time to do this. I tracked down hundreds of people who were involved. And this object, we now know, came in from the greater Pittsburgh area. It moved into Westmoreland County. It moved over to the city of Greensburg. No, I did not see it. It moved out roughly out around Route 30 East. It made a turn to the south. So it's seen sequentially by people from, let's say, around Marguerite, Pleasant Unity, Norvelt, goes out to the mountains of Laurelville. No, it did not fall in Kecksburg. It was outside of Kecksburg. It was outside of Kecksburg, moved out the mountains of Laurelville. According to at least one witness and others, because we have others all along the tracks, it began to track back outside of Kecksburg. It made another turn and dropped down into the woods. But here's what nobody knew at the time. Over the years, I was able to track down and find some of these people. Some of the locals, right before it fell, had this thing come over their heads, maybe 200-300 feet over their head, and people saw it go down into the woods. It did not come down at a high rate of speed. It came down quite slow, almost like it was making a controlled landing. But what we did know was some of those locals, right after it fell, they went down into the woods and they found that large metallic cone-shaped object semi-buried in the ground. The trees had been knocked down. The object was completely intact. But what's so interesting was it looked like, one witness said it looked like somebody took liquid metal and poured it into an acorn-shaped mold. That's what people just don't understand about the description. There was no weld marks, no seams, no fuselage, no wings. And on the raised up back part like you have on the acorn, some witnesses who were close enough said there were these unusual markings that looked more like some type of ancient symbols. And it's a fascinating story. Whatever it was, we hear all kinds of theories on it. I've never seen any evidence that any of these theories could provide, details that was the Kecksburg object. Nobody's ever done that. There's a lot of details out there, some things which I have never released, and at some point, hopefully I will, that I need some more verification on certain details. But it's a fascinating story, and regardless of what the subject was, for the government and the military to respond as fast as they did to recover this object. And let me tell you, there are certain aspects of it. There apparently was some very, very, very interesting government responses of what was going on that a lot of people don't know about at this point.
Yeah,
and it's fascinating. I can tell you this: independent sources told me that object was taken away in a military flatbed tractor trailer covered with a tarp around 1 o'clock in the morning to Lockwood Air Force Base near Columbus, Ohio. The flatbed trailer and the object were backed into a hangar. There was a military security team that surrounded the hangar. I was told by one of the guards they were given a shoot-to-kill order to anybody who approached that hangar without the proper clearance. It stayed there for a short time and went to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And later I was told exactly what building it was placed in. Where it's at today, we don't know. We've heard rumors it's still there. We've heard rumors it's been moved. So we really don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of skeptics out there that still think it's a Russian satellite. Unfortunately, I don't know.
Well, there were many, many theories. I can just tell you this: back years ago, and tell my memory, it's about 2002 or 2003, and you can go online and you can find detailed reports on this. I think I still have some links on my website to these reports. The Sci-Fi Channel at that time provided a major investigation of the Kecksburg case. There was a huge investigation. And anyhow, I can tell you without going into great detail, one of the theories was that we had looked into was that this possibly could have been a Soviet Venus probe known as Cosmos 96. And the reason we're interested was because we knew that it had re-entered the Earth's atmosphere over Canada on the same date, but early in the morning hours. This occurred around 4:47 a.m. So we speculated could be some connection. But over the years, and when the Sci-Fi Channel investigated this, they had the top NASA scientist, who's the expert on re-entry space debris and orbital debris, and he was able to get into all the orbital data, all the information. He had access to the information nobody else had, and he said and went on record and he said there's no possible way to Cosmos 96 or any aspect, any debris from it could have came down to Pennsylvania that afternoon. And other things were also ruled out as well, other theories as well. So there's a lot of interest in this case. What it was, nobody still knows for sure. Maybe someday we'll have an answer. Now the government has an office investigating UFO sightings. There's legislation to tried to at least release certain information, declassify certain details. Some people are hopeful that maybe we'll learn more about the case, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the months ahead.
Okay. Well, there you go, everyone. That's Dan Gordon. He's going to be at the Kecksburg Festival, the UFO Festival in Mount Pleasant.
Well, it's Kecksburg. It's in
Kecksburg.
Mount Pleasant.
Okay.
It's actually, I believe it's 5128 Water Street. If you put in Kecksburg VFD and your GPS will take you right to it.
Okay. Well, I hope to see you there on Saturday. What time are you going to be there Saturday?
I'll be there a whole day.
Is there anywhere I should look for you?
I'm inside the community center where all the other researchers. So we'll be inside where a lot of the vendors are inside. We'll be inside the social hall. The hours of the event, you can go to my website and look at it. But Friday night, it's basically 6 to 11 p.m. Saturday is noon to 11. The parade's at 2 o'clock. And then Sunday, the conference is at 1 o'clock. And it'll be probably a little longer than normal conference. So it should be very interesting.
Okay. Well, I hope to see you there and have a great time. And thank you again for joining Chasing Prophecy. I really appreciate it, Stan.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Wow.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's a living legend, right? You know, in your area.
Yes. We have had him on so many times, and he gets into discussions, and we have one, my former co-host John Ventry and him always get into it because he definitely thinks it's a satellite.
Well, you know, you can draw comparisons. I can see why people are saying that it re-entered the Earth's atmosphere over Canada. However, the time is nowhere near. It happened at around 3:18 a.m., whereas this happened 4:47 p.m. So 13 hours have gone by. You know, conceivably would be if something else was on it that was still up there, it would fall in a different area, even if it was a part of it. Another part is the Russian probe and Cosmo 96 was well bigger than what this object was purported to be. This was talking about, look, if it can fit on the back of a military flatbed, it was 8 foot to 10 foot long and around 6 foot wide. Now, the satellite would have been, you know, much larger, 3, 4, 5 times as large. There's no way. Now, the people that he was talking about that were on site and saw that first were volunteer firefighters.
Yeah.
Now, a bunch of men who thought it was a craft, thought it was like an airplane. They wanted to help out anybody. I'm going to trust their judgment of measurements, firefighters who are trained, you know what I mean, into knowing, eyeballing things.
I wish there was a movie about Kecksburg. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of one, seen one. If there was one, I don't know about it.
Let's get to writing.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't care.
We can have Stan be our, what do you call them?
Scientific expert behind everything.
Yeah, we should. We should definitely. We should.
I would do it.
Definitely.
We could put it together in a weekend, honestly.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm down. Especially with our fellow in the funding network, who loves us. So maybe we'll be able to.
I wonder when that's going to happen.
Yeah. July, the end of the month.
Okay, we're almost there.
Almost there. And also, I got you on IMDb as the creator and host of this. So if you IMDb yourself, you'll be on there. You just have to, you have to change from the gray silhouette of nothing to whatever picture you want.
When is it? Do we have a profile on there yet? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, we do.
I was trying to find the website. I couldn't find it. But
IMDb.
No one knows what we're talking about.
No. And then we.
Nobody knows what we're talking about. No one knows what we're talking about.
Well, that's their fault.
That's our secret. That's our secret.
Yeah, our wink. But Kecksburg is Pennsylvania's Roswell. It is the second biggest UFO crash in the country behind Roswell, right? It has all of the elements, Jenny. It has the cover up, it has the crash, it has ordinary people seeing all of this, it has the fireball from the sky, it has
and I'm looking forward to the festival. I went once before and it was
how long ago?
Oh gosh. I don't even know, maybe 6-7 years ago.
Oh, so it's been a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, then I haven't been there in that while, so I'm hoping, taking the family, the grandbabies. Let's get some
That
alien
should be fun. If you
paraphernalia.
go live
Yeah,
Saturday,
I'm gonna have my phone on live, and I'll try to talk. It's
yeah.
gonna be hard. I won't have it on myself that much, but I'll have it on what's going on so people can see.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll get to
Because it happens every
do a
year,
quick.
right? So if they like it, they can make plans to go. The airport's
Yeah,
right there. People can come in. It's a
yeah,
great. I've heard it's a great festival. I've actually talked to
yeah,
somebody who's been there, but
yeah.
yeah, we need more of them. We need more of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's where people of our mindset meet a lot of time, and we always have a good time. I always have a good time at those things.
Yeah. So I'm hoping things calm down a little bit with the rhetoric and everything that we hear
Yeah,
with Donald Trump, President Trump. I have
yeah.
vowed to wear if you want to find out my
Stand up.
shirts,
Let me see your shirt.
I'm going to try to stand up. I got can you see it?
Yeah,
Can't see it.
I
I
see it.
have it. I
They
have,
know what it is.
I'm going to put them all in my TikTok, I have a Amazon store on my TikTok page. So if you want,
Yeah,
I have
good.
so many. I'm going to get some more. In 2016, I wore a Trump shirt every single day, the whole year.
Really?
Yes, I did. And I didn't do it 2020. And I always hit myself in the head. Maybe if I would have worn,
You're
yeah, that's
so you were the sole reason.
yeah, it was the sole reason, the
Oh my
universe.
goodness. Yeah.
No, I did it. And well, think about it. If you wore a shirt every year and then they lost, you feel really guilty. I know I
Oh,
had
Joe,
nothing
we
to
love
do
you
with it.
too,
I
man.
had nothing to do with it, but I was a very good, loyal
Yeah, you
supporter
did
of
a good
Donald
job.
Trump. So I started yesterday. I'm
Mm.
going to wear a different one. I have 7. I'm going to have 7. Right now I have one
One for every
sweatshirt,
day
one
of the
other
week.
shirt. I have 2, 3. I only need 2 more. So I
Okay.
just keep washing them, and I'm going to do it unless I go out somewhere. If I'm just hanging out with myself and, go to the grocery
I hear
store.
you.
But if I have to go somewhere, to dinner or a movie, or you just to
You
watch
reel
a
it
ball.
in?
What did you just say again? I thought you were
I said,
being
did
bad
you
again.
reel it in?
Ah,
No, I mean, like, did you reel it back in so you don't wear that stuff out? The
oh
Trump
yeah,
stuff.
wash them. I'm not gonna not wash them. You're so weird. But
I,
I will get
I
a
am
couple
weird. That's
more.
true.
I got my scam pages. What did you say? I was a
Eh,
scammer?
Oh no, that was a catfish. Definitely not a scammer. You might be a catfish. We'll have to see. Nikki needs one. Nikki, follow her on TikTok, and
Yeah,
you
if you
can
go in
see.
my TikTok, I'm gonna put them on tonight. I got so many of them. I got a tank top. I got a black and white one. I got this one. I got a rhinestone Trump shirt. I got
The
the
rhinestone
one I
hat
always.
too is pretty cool. I like the hat.
I got 3 hats
Yeah,
actually.
I like that hat.
But yeah, I'm a supporter, and I'll probably
Fashionista.
I have a big sign that I am voting for the convicted felon, but my family is worried that they might get. Well, one year I got my sign. Someone burnt it. Did you
On
know
your
they had enough
property?
on my property?
Well, no, I didn't. I didn't know that. Somebody came on your property and burned your sign.
Yeah, we woke up and it was all these burn holes. They tried to burn it, they got I guess because it was a certain kind of plastic that didn't really burn,
Yeah.
but there was all these burn holes all through it. Some idiot, some crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and
That's
then I was gonna put a
that's
sign in one of my friends' home because she's a Dem, and I was gonna stand in her yard.
yeah.
She'll know it's me.
See, here's what you do: is you vouch for where your whereabouts are some way, and then have a friend do it.
She would know it was me. She would know. She would know. She would know. I told her I got her one. Told her I got her a shirt. Like she's gonna say, "I'm not wearing your shirt."
Oh gosh.
She's not gonna wear my shirt.
Tell her grow up.
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do when I get off here. I'm going to go load up my shirts on my TikTok. What do you call it?
The
Amazon
shop. Yeah.
storefront.
Shop.
My Amazon
Mhm.
storefront, and then I'm going to post it on. I'm going to take a picture and post it, and then I'm going to watch some of the convention.
Yeah, tonight.
And yeah.
Remember, Thursday is when he
Oh, I'm
speaks.
sorry. Thank you so much for the wonderful review from the sky.
Oh, it's
Thank you so
my
much.
pleasure. It's a wonderful book, and I'm not just saying that because we're co-hosts. I am a fan of literature, and it's a wonderful book. It's got me hooked. And we, we just need to read more. About it. I can't wait. I'm eagerly reading.
I hope and pray things work out for it. So if you are out there in Radio Land in Mississippi or New Orleans or Russia, where else we do, I think we do. We did broadcast in Russia. I know we
Yeah,
did.
they can hear us.
Yeah, you can order them in UK. Actually, I think it's in the UK. You can get it on the UK too. I have wonderful reviews from the UK. It's From the Sky. It's a story about a little romance between a young girl and an alien. Sort of like Twilight for
Yeah.
aliens. That's
And,
basically an
and
alien.
very good, very entertaining book, very well written too. Jenny's a wonderful, wonderful author.
Oh, you're too kind. And my head's getting bigger and bigger, and we're over time.
Well, we're gonna get yelled at.
We always get yelled at. I do,
Yeah.
anyways. Okie dokie pokey. Everybody stay safe.
Yes,
What did you say?
be kind to one another.